live here. Hey guys. So, I had a eventful afternoon to finally getting to my coworkers who has a Bichon-Poo who had message recently had a lot of changes in life that could have caused this dog to start becoming aggressive or scared. Message. Aggressive or scared. Little backstory on her. So Peaches is about 12 years old. Unfortunately, her owner passed away, I believe, about a year ago from lung cancer. So that's a tragedy the dog has to deal with. And apparently had no issues with being groomed her whole life until recently. She was willed to one of the owner's daughters, who has two of her own dogs. This is the first long-haired dog or dog that has to be groomed. She has children in the house. New place to live recently. So all of those changes could have affected the dog mentally, aside from the dog's getting older, I believe starting to have some sight issues. Um, wasn't maintained properly towards the end of its previous owner's time. So got kind of neglected, was told a little bit. The coat wasn't kept under control, so maybe when they went to get groomed and they finally took over care of the dog, the groomers either had a large job to deal with or just mishandled the dog. I believe they went to the same groomer the first time. So a lot of those changes affect the dog mentally just like it would affect you and I. So the groomers, I believe, were not able to get past the bathing process. This happened a couple times, and it was at the same grooming salon the dog had gone to pretty much its whole life. I believe they did get it groomed once by one of the groomers there. But after that, the dog just continued to get worse, and they tried two more times after that, and the dog had to be picked up. Then tried going to the vet, and the vet was unable to do anything even after giving two Xanax, and it's a small dog, so they couldn't give it anymore, and told the owner that they would have to sedate the dog, shave him down. So that's what happened essentially that time, because the dog just needed relief and something to be done there. So that's what happened last time. So now we have a dog that's had issues at groomers, going to a vet, had to be sedated. When it came out of sedation, it was wobbly, obviously. So there's two issues now. Now a dog is dealing with the medications of sedation, taking a while to come back out of it. The owners didn't like that. Obviously, thought it was funny for like the first 10 minutes of dogs wobbling around, and then starts getting concerns about it. Took a little while for the dog to come out of that, but then now you have a completely shaved down dog where the dog doesn't even realize what happened, other than it woke up and its whole coat, its whole outer security is gone. So took, the owner said, a couple weeks until the coat started growing back in for her to start acting a little normal again, which is understandable. That happens a lot when we do shave dogs down. They get some insecurities, and so you could just imagine when that happens, when the dog's just put out and they wake up and it's just completely gone. So was talking to owners and decided that was going to be one of my first projects here in Indiana, was to house call on that dog. Went there, and they did not lie about the aggression. Could barely go near the dog at first. Took me about 20 minutes before I could even approach the dog or have her on a leash, and she was still going wild with me, just trying to walk her, did not want anything to do with me. At that point, it just seemed like some of the restraint she was having issues with. I was a new face. She didn't know me. She didn't know what was going on. sure she could sense I'm there for a reason. Um, didn't want much to do with it. So it's been about 20 minutes, half hour, just getting comfortable with the dog, letting her come towards me. Tried using some calming techniques, um, showing that I would kind of let her approach me, which she wasn't doing even with me sitting down all the way on the ground, kind of turning, letting her approach me at her time. So I got in a little bit of a discussion with the owner as I held her and with other two dogs in there. Um, she goes to play, and some of the dogs, large dog, when she tries to be a little too rambunctious, tries turning away or walking away. And she said that the other dog gives her like two or three warnings, or two or three times of trying to turn away and walk away. And Peaches keeps going at it. And after about the third time, the dog doesn't snap but gives a growl and a warning. So Peaches is not picking up on those body signals or is ignoring them or not paying attention to them for some reason. So that's something I had to work around. Um, so I was just doing a little calming. Finally, was able to pick her up, just holding her, letting her, pretty much showing her that I'm not really going to do anything bad to her. She's spazzing out. I'm not even near a table. I haven't even shown her scissors. I haven't shown her clippers or anything. Even tried to brush her yet. Um, so that took a good half hour, which you're not going to be able to get in a grooming salon. You also have to deal with other dogs there, other sounds there, the dog being scared of the traveling, all of that. Different faces, grooming salon, there might be somebody trying to bathe them, another person trying to groom them, so that means from each station, you could have possible issues that you have to restart the process. So it's still a learning experience trying to do house calls, but I understand why I'm doing it. I want to be able to handle the dogs completely on my own and take the time to get them comfortable and safely get them done for the house for multiple reasons, um, and get accustomed to the process, whether it's a new puppy that has no idea what's going on or an older dog who's starting to act up a bit. So just wanted to give a quick update what's been going on, and that was my process today. She did end up getting groomed. I did not, because of the aggression levels and everything. It was more, I wanted to catch up on some of the processes that were skipped when they did shave her down. They didn't brush her out. They said that she was too matted and had to be shaved down. Probably took about half hour to brush her, de-shed her. And it's a non-shedding dog; those hairs have to be removed. And the owners were kind of upset that they were told would have to be sedated, um, has to be shaved down because it's too matted. Um, what else was it? They didn't. Oh, they were told that it had to be shaved because of the change of the season, which is true. In the change of the season, they try to blow their coat. So a non-shedding dog, you need to help them remove that coat. So it's a little time consuming, or you need the right tools. You need a de-shedding rake, um, or use like a mat zapper and pull out the dead hair. So I was able to do that. Um, then with the side issue that was with her not being able to go to a groomer, didn't realize how long the nails had gotten, um, either. And was concerned about that because she had an issue before with cutting a dog's nails too far. And so was scared, which is understandable. A lot of that happens with a lot of the dogs at home. And was more concerned for what needs to be done to keep the dog healthy and happy. So a lot of the process was going over information, what needs to be done, what could be done, which I believe most owners are pretty receptive on understanding that they don't know everything, but we go over certain details with them and inform them the proper procedures. It's beneficial for us as groomers because that saves us time in the long run. Yeah, it might be a little bit of a hassle, but it's better for the dog and for them to maintain them properly at home. It might take us 15 minutes right now, the first time, to go over the details of everything, but in the long run, if the dog's maintained, that should be easier work for us if that's less work we have to do later on. So a lot of groomers do go over that. Sometimes I understand if you're working in a big box store or salon that's pushing numbers, you might not feel like you have time to, or management or owners that don't like owners to stay in the salon while you're grooming. So there's a lot of groomers right now looking into going either into house call grooming or grooming on your own and kind of can set your own pace or your own rules where just have to remember. But essentially, at that point, you're freelancing or contracting yourself, and you could decide to your clients. You can decide what you're doing and what you want to spend the time on, and what's beneficial for you. Um, so I do have a battle scar. She did get me pretty good one time, but it's kind of expected. Unfortunately, I was talking a bit much and took got a little too comfortable and distracted, and that's when she got me. But um, it was pretty quick. Wasn't anything like a major clearance. She was just doing it out of fear. Um, so dealing with the aggressive dogs like that is pretty dangerous, and that's a whole nother avenue of dealing with the house calls. Is dealing with those types of dogs if you choose to. Um, Definitely need to have experience in handling dogs, with whether you're calming techniques or understanding the behavior of them. I don't understand exactly why she changed her behavior. This was the first time I went to meet her, um, and kind of went with it, and I saw how long it was for her just to get used to me even going approaching her. So it was going to be just a meet and assess it, but after spending half an hour just getting her used to me being there, I went ahead to go do the full groom. Now, dealing with that, it was more important for me to make sure that she was comfortable, did what I needed to. So I actually chose to do part of a waterless bath, a full brush out, de-shed her, and I actually skipped the main bathing process because the owner did say that she's fine with bathing, except the owner didn't know proper drying technique or to brush before or after the bath. So I spoke with her and I decided to cut that out to save time, but I spent that time slowly doing brushing and de-shedding and doing the nails, doing all of that for the health of the dog. Took care of all of that and had the owner's assistance, who was very appreciative with just the fact that again didn't have to sedate the dog down, but on my end that was time consuming. I had to kind of work with them and work within a certain time frame. I usually it did take me about 3 hours, and that's without a bath. That's because of the aggression level and just getting her used to me. Plus, she hadn't been brushed out probably in about 6 months. A lot of that was not just me brushing the dog and restraining her down. It was going back and forth. I did give her a couple breaks. But by the end, she pretty much, at first, she wouldn't even let me brush anywhere near her face. By the end, I was able to bring the comb right up towards her eyes, slowly pull out all the eye gunk that had built up probably for about 3 months, take all of that out, um, and begin that process with her. So the owners were essentially pretty happy on that. So just wanted to give a quick update on today with Peaches. Unfortunately, I didn't even take a before or after picture. Once I was there, I was just thinking only about the dog. Um, I even had a camera with me to record certain things, but I didn't even think about that. I guess I should have, but I was more focused on that. But we'll be working on that. I'm going to try to document more of what I'm doing with certain dogs like that. Share some of that. Share some of um, what I'm deciding to do or how I'm trying to work with the house calls. It's not. I mean, if it's a foo-foo dog and they want me to do a dog, I'll do it. But there's a lot of places that a lot of people who need um, certain features, not features, certain things done with their dog, but they're having issues finding somebody willing to do. So that's what I need to focus on. That's what I've decided to focus on. If you're doing house call grooming, I recommend just figuring out what you're comfortable doing, figuring out what needs you want to work on. And there's plenty of people with the dogs out there who all have different needs. So find out what you're comfortable with and how you want to build your business model and go for it. I've been pretty lackadaisical on doing it because as groomers or art, which we like to consider ourselves artists, and we're, most of us are perfectionists. We try to think of everything being set perfectly before even starting. I'm very bad with that, with trying to start before anything and being concerned of not doing it right the first time and forgetting that if something doesn't work the right way or I want to make changes to what I'm doing, that I could always do that. Instead, I'm sitting back and I want everything perfect and in place before even starting. Meanwhile, that's just a detriment to myself and not doing much, which essentially leads to um, some depression. Some days I just want to get out and do everything. Some days I don't. So that's a little bit of battle, but I have to kind of remember that there's a lot of people out there doing different things, different ways, and I don't have to do it the way that everybody else is. Um, and I also have to remember that I might not know exactly how I want to do it, but at least I'm going to end up doing it the way that I want to. Um, so that's where I stand right now. And just wanted to share that. So I'll be catching up with you guys later. And hope everybody's having a great day. And I'll give some more updates soon. Have a good night.